sure do miss my music coming on out here. I can see my guest sitting in the back, and she's really not a guest. That's my girl. She's really not a guest. And for those of you, you're like, who is she? Listen, for those of you who don't know who I am, my name is Marisa Bludorn. I am your host. I'm the CEO, editor in chief of Own It Magazine and Publishing. I also am the CEO of TCS Consulting, an organizational and leadership development firm. And taking center stage and owning it with me is my girl, like I said, phenomenal woman, is Jacqueline LuLu Brown. She is the CEO and founder of Ascension, Revolution Ascension, and she is we're going to talk candidly today. I like our conversation. So if you're just tuning in to this one, you need to go back into the library on YouTube, or go on my Facebook page and search down through my videos. It should be on the top, and see. But we are having some really candid conversations about the sisterhood and why it's important for women to take refuge and get away for a career, personal, professional career development through either international conferences and retreats. And my girl Jacqueline, she's going to be in Morocco. And so we are going to talk to you and share with you our hearts on the sisterhood and why it's important for you to get refreshed. Jacqueline, Lulu, I saw you partying like a rock star back there.
Yes, I was, because I love your intro. And listen, I just had to rock with it a little bit.
I know I miss coming out to Mary J. Work that thing. Work that thing. I miss that. And so we're taking center stage, and we're really focusing on what you've been up to. And I'm going to start this at the top because we've had so many sessions. We didn't have a chance because we've been just diving in, and this has been some good stuff. And so we've been diving in. We haven't talked about your new projects, the things that you're launching, your 1 year coaching program. Also, too, you're going to be launching your magazine. I know it's done a pre-launch earlier this year, but you're going into full launch mode now. Divine Prosperous Living. Also, your anthology that you're getting ready to unleash and let everybody know to join in, because this is huge. It's elevating, taking you to another dimension. And that's what we want to do. We want to always be in a place where, if you want to stay vibrant, I know that people talk about retiring, and I'm like, what is that? I'm not retiring. I'm not thinking about retirement. Are you? I'm like, do I look like I'm thinking about retirement? Now, am I getting my house in order so that I can be comfortable and secure? Absolutely. But I am not thinking about retirement. I'm going to do what I do until I have no more breath in me. And I'm looking forward to that, because that's how God intended it. Man came up with retirement because he got so tired he needed to sit down, but I don't need to sit down. We got work to do, Sister Bertrell. And so we want to talk about all that you're doing. We want to also, too, talk about the content of this conversation. The reason why we're having the content, because there's a needful thing for us to go away and get refreshed and restored. And we need to make sure that we take the time to make it a value point and invest in ourselves so that we can get poured into all year long, all day long, all week long, all month long. We are pouring into other people, either by our friendships, our children, our family, our spouses, our parents, if they're still alive, being there for them. So we're always pouring out. It is imperative for longevity and fulfillment and not being bitter, indifferent, jealous, angry, or covetous, as we've talked along the way. It's important for you to get refreshed and restored so that you have a fresh perspective and you can do the things that you do in love from a heart of love, peace, joy. How do you say it?
Love, light, peace, joy, ease, and flow.
And that's my part. Ease and flow is my part, because that's how everything's got to be easy and flowing. And you can only get to that point and maintain that point by consistency and how you take care of yourself. And this is one of the major things. So talk to them a little bit about Morocco and all that you're getting ready to do.
Thank you. And again, thank you so much for these sessions. I have truly enjoyed being with you, and it has just been such a blast, and it's having so much fun. So just a little bit about what we're doing and what's different and where we're moving to. I did some focus groups and I started, and what drove me, so I'm going to take a step back because I'm getting ahead of myself. What drove me to do the focus groups is that I noticed that women that were signing up, whether it was for the Ascension Academy or it was one-on-one coaching or group, whatever it was, I noticed that everyone was sick, being diagnosed with diseases, being diabetes and heart conditions and high blood pressure. And one of the things I said is, okay, it's not about just taking someone's money, because how am I going to tell people that I'm going to take them ascending to their highest self when they have all these other issues? So I wanted to confirm what the needs were, because we have to be in touch with what the needs are. COVID turned things so upside down, and the needs of women are so different now than they were before COVID. I did the focus group and I looked at the areas that were the highest areas. And I looked and I said, well, they already have the capabilities in them to either resolve these issues, do the transformation. The power is there, which is their divine feminine. I mean, some people are just so far over into the masculine because the world has told us that we have to fit into this box for success. And really, all we need to do is be who we were created to be. And so the other piece that I realized is that, you know what? I don't have it all. And I'm not going to try to be the be all end all in every area. Now, some do that. I decided that I wasn't going to do that, that I was going to partner. And so I took all of those areas and I said, okay, now I'm going to go find partnerships such as yourself. And what we're doing at this point in time is we're meeting the needs of what women have today: executive leadership, the dealing with the challenges of being burnt out, identity crisis, authenticity, all of the things that really hinder us from ascending to our highest self. And we have these partnerships now that we have expanded and we are launching, and they're going to hear it first here because it has not been made public and it's not on the website yet. But we are going to be launching a 1-year program. And that 1-year program is going to look at the aspects that a woman has. And it starts with things like self swaps, looking for their strengths and really going in and doing the deep tissue work. So, quarter by quarter throughout the year, they are going to have an experience that is actually for the women who are at a C-suite level in corporate leadership, ministry, community advocacy, entrepreneur, serialpreneur. It doesn't really make a difference what you're involved in and what your business is. There is one thing that you must have, and you must be operating. You must have the power and understand how to operate in that power to obtain the life that you want, regardless of what of those areas you're in. So through partnership around, and I'll give you an example around business. Some women want a deeper level of their business because they're a small business owner. But at the same token, they don't want to have to pay and go get a coach here and a coach there. So we are holistically, our expansion is bringing things holistically together. And within that 1 year, we are giving, included in that is retreats such as Morocco. We are also giving all of the things that women are wanting, which is having an insight into why relationships are failing. also being able to expand their business, understanding how to navigate the waters and remain authentic and not compromise. Success without compromise. And that's actually one of the modules, success without compromise. And we're just so excited. The next piece that we're really excited is that part of a subset of Revolution Ascension is that we created something called Divine Prosperous Living. And initially, Divine Prosperous Living was just a few master classes and just incorporating it into some coaching. And it's living a divine prosperous life from and I'm going to say creator, God, Allah, Krishna, Yahweh. It's not about religion, it's about
Yeah.
understanding who you are at your core, the divine core of who
Your core.
God created you to be. And so it's having prosperity from a God creator centered place, and really seeing that there's no compromise in that. It's just being spiritually aligned, and it's being authentic, and tapping into the power that we really had when we came out of our mother's womb. But we know that
Yeah.
society has put us in these boxes. And that's how it kind of started. And then I met yourself in Own It Publishing. And somehow or another, and I'm going to let you explain that to the audience, somehow or another, I ended up launching a magazine, Divine Prosperous Living. So the
Mhm.
message is now going further than being in a coaching program, but it's actually a periodical that people can read, get stories, get experiences that are going to help them to grow. In addition to the fact that now they can advertise in it, they can be featured on the cover. Their stories can be told, as well as they can glean from the other stories that are there.
Yeah.
Between the magazine, it's pretty interesting when I think about. I went from a couple of modules of Divine Prosperous Living all the way to Divine Prosperous Living magazine, and then from the magazine all the way into an anthology. So Revolution Ascension goes from Revolution Ascension to an anthology, which is Radical Ascension to the next dimension. So there's so much, but we're having so
That's
much.
it.
And the key is that we are meeting the needs of what women need today, right now.
So, I'm a strategist and I see the bigger picture, and I also am a connector. So I connect the dots. I love crosswords because I find them very fast. When you have a trained mind to see beyond all of the little things and you have precision where you can just write in. So there is a method to the madness, right? So people may say, oh, that, you got a magazine, da, da, da. You don't understand it. They all tie in together. One, writing a book is it's a business card. So when I first started writing, and I've published 13 of my own books, and I've self-published. That means I design my own covers. I do the interior. I type 100 and plus I don't know how many words. I have an artist's eye, so I could design. I'm tech savvy. I don't put limitations on myself and what I could do. I believe in John 14, where he said, I will not leave you comfortless, but I'll give you the Holy Spirit, and the Holy Spirit's supposed to teach us stuff. Well, I tap into that. Like, I believe that literally. And so, because I believe it literally, it happens in my life, it manifests in my life because of my belief system. And because of my mind, my body, and my spirit are open to and willing to receive and believe, I was able to do that. I'm able to do all of that stuff. So they tell you all the time you use a small percentage of your brain. And why? Because you're not tapping into it. The Matrix showed you that everybody wants to just be plugged in and be spoon fed.
Mhm.
No, there's some of us who want the real pill and we want to see reality. And because in reality is authenticity, right? In reality, it's not living the lie. I'm not painting on any kind of eyebrows. I'm not puffing up my lips. I'm living in what God gave me and I'm embracing all of it. And all of it is beautiful because I believe it's beautiful. And so when you bring all of so own it is not cute. In fact, it is the most toughest and roughest thing you will ever do. It's the audacity to
Yes.
take all of who you are and own it and not have to feel like you gotta. We talked about fitting in the box. We talked about we're gonna tap into clicks. We talked about jealousy. When you own all of who you are, your mind is up here. Your mind is way up here. Your thinking is way up here.
Yes.
Jealousy me down here to you. I'm not coming down there to you. I'm not coming down in Lodabar. I'm not staying in no low places. I'm
Mm.
not doing that. I'm not afraid to be alone. In fact, I like being alone so much. It's a little bit like I got to go out, Lord, because you called me to the people. So I got to go and spend some time with the people so that they can be encouraged to live in their full authenticity. I'm saying all this to say that write your story. It's therapeutic for you as well as it's therapeutic for the reader. And it's also freeing and releasing of yourself
Mhm.
so that you can go and now feel confident and bold. There when you develop yourself
Mm.
in one skill or one capacity, it gives you the confidence and the boldness, the stability, the stance that's required for you to move up to the next level. Then you get a little bit uncomfortable. You got to be cool with being uncomfortable and you got to be cool with being stretched, right? You got to be comfortable with that because guess what? You're only going to be uncomfortable at that level at the entrance. But once you start getting through that, you start coming so comfortable, you rest. God wants us to rest in our gifting. So it requires that one. We write a book, write the story, tell the people, write the vision, make it plain. Tell the people how you went through what you went through so that they can know how to get through too. Right? So you write the book. But then that's not enough. You saw me say I wrote 13. So guess what? There's more in you. So you gotta have a magazine. Why? Because they gotta be able to touch base with you from time to time.
Yes.
And not only that, you got so much wisdom inside of you, you got to get it out. So every month you pour out that wisdom. And guess what? When you pour it out, guess what? You got to be filled back up. But when you're filled back up, it's a fresh. It's
Mm.
not old. It's not stale. It's not yesterday. It's relevant. It's today. So you write again every month. You write again, write again. Now, the beautiful thing about an anthology is this. Wasn't big on anthologies, but what I found in my observation was this later on. It was like community. I
Yes.
watched different visionary authors and anthologists, and I watched each one of them. Because remember, I'm a behavioral analyst through DISC. And not only that, through my degrees are basic psychology, executive leadership coaching, industrial organizational psychology. So I'm a practitioner of looking at human behavior and analyzing, assessing it, addressing it. I know that some of the core issues of why you struggle, and part of why you struggle is because you are living below your capabilities. You're not.
Absolutely.
You're afraid to stretch yourself. You've gotten too comfortable, too lazy, too fat, and you don't want to get up off the couch. And what God keeps nudging you at is whenever you see somebody like myself or Lulu, and we coming in front of you, because God sent us. And He can't have to remind you, get up. Stop going quietly into the night and stop taking the blue or red pill, whatever pill keeps you sleep. God is saying, wake up. And if I show up on the scenes, like I keep telling you, gotta go to Lulu's coaching program because see me, I'm rough and tough. She got a little soft side to her. I'm gonna be like, get up, because we got to go now. We don't have time to play. No. So when you see me and I'm talking and you listening, God's saying your clock is ticking. Time is of the essence. You got to get so the magazine is there for you to have a constant place of you writing. So if you're interested, connect with Lulu, get on Divine Prosperous Living, become a contributing writer. The reason why you want to be a part of her coaching program for the year
Mm.
is this is because you need accountability.
Yes.
The minute you feel like life is just happening and all this, you lose focus. You need a coach there to remind you why this is important, to hold you accountable.
Hmm.
And you got to make sure, because this is a clarity process. So I know for me, the reason why I do what I do and I do it the way I do is because I've worked with coaches. And I have to say to you, I'm not downing them. I always get what I came for. So I'm always going to get what I need to get from any situation that's positive, that's going to help me to build me up to be a better person. That is always my agenda, and I'm always going to get it. Even if I take the smallest thing away from what you do, I'm taking something as a learning tool. So I'm not saying that to say anything, but I know from my experience, they don't teach you what you must do to
Must.
actually get the results you want. And that means that you have a structured business that's sustainable, that's bringing you in money, and you have the confidence, the audacity, the tenacity to ask for the money. Because
Yeah.
at the end of the day, your business is not going to be a business unless it's making money. And they don't want to talk to you about that. They want to talk to you about building your business their way. I don't work with you like that. Teach you how to build your business and figure out how your business is going to be structured on your terms, your way. Because that's the only way you're going to be in alignment with your assignment, and you're going to be doing what God called you to do. It's not built in anybody else's model.
Hmm.
God has it in you, and we have to together bring you to a place of clarity and structure and pull that thing out of you. That's
Yes.
how that has to work. And that means that it cannot be done in 1 or 2 or 3 sessions. It can't be done in 2 weeks. It can't be done in a 6 week program, 12-week program. No, you got to stay the course, because what you're called and purpose to do is revelatory. That means that it has to come out at a period of time where you can comprehend it, understand it. Now you're going to run with that piece of it. Then as you run with that piece and you're faithful with that piece, God's going to reveal something else to you. And then it's going to keep building. And that's exactly what she's doing. When she's saying to you, she's got this, because she needs you to have somewhere to go with what's coming out of you. So you
Yes.
got to have the magazine. Then you need a community of family, because
Yes.
divine revolution, divine prosperous living and revolution, that's a family. That's getting ready to be a family.
Yes.
And it's not going to be family members, because can't pick your family. So just like you can't pick your family in the natural, in the bloodline, you're not going to be able to pick your family in this round. But what God is putting together here is a divine structure,
Hmm.
and you are divinely assigned to this family. And she is putting together an organization and a structure that is going to support you from beginning to end. Building relationships are lasting. They're not meant for a sprint. They're meant for long term. That means that we're going to have to get along sometimes. We're going to bump heads, and you're going to judge me, and I'm going to judge you. And I hate to say it, but I'm going to be real. We're going to talk about you. You're going to talk about us. Let's just say it, because anything that goes in is unhealthy if it does not come out. Communication is critical. You have got to say the most difficult thing that you need to say, because the minute you get it out, then you can now breathe, and
Hmm.
now it's out. It's not toxic inside of you, killing and destroying you. And so all of this, so that's why the 12-month program is important. But she can't make you commit to that. You got to commit to it yourself. You got to commit to it, and then she commits to your commitment, right? She commits to your commitment. And in the process, you get visibility, because that magazine is going to make you visible to people. It's going to take people you seriously. It's going to be impeccable in design. And she is impeccable as a leader. It's going to, and then you have to be strategic. So she's going to be the one who is offering you the opportunity. And one thing I'm known as Own It's Magazine CEO and editor in chief is getting on my people about, your vision is in here. It's under my vision, but you have your own vision inside the vision. So it's up to you. You are a CEO inside of that space inside the magazine. You are the CEO and the chief executive person who's making the decision inside the anthology. You're under the vision, but you have to have your own vision. That's where your authenticity comes from. That's where your clarity and where you're taking your life, your career, your business to. You got to say, okay, this has been offered to me, but what am I going to do with it? How do I make this work for what I believe God has called me to do? Whether it's your career or your business, your life, whatever it is you're advocating for, whatever it is that you believe that you've been the answer the question you've been born to answer. All of that has to be where your mindset is. She has to be, I'm strategic. As her publisher, she has to be the strategic as your leader, and you as the one who's under this have to be your own strategist. You have to say, well, I got to work this too. And when you promote the magazine, it's not just us promoting it, you got to promote the magazine. Teamwork makes the dream work. And when we realize that and fuse it all together, listen, the word says, if two or more are gathered in my name, I'm in the midst. If two or more agree as in touching any one thing, but one will put 1,000 a flight to it. Corporately, anything is freaking possible. And I'm going to tell you, corporately, we have 1 million+ people who follow
Mm.
us. If you put us all together and you do the numbers of who follow us individually, collectively, I can guarantee you we have more than 1 million followers or connections. And so I say that to say, where we talk about people saying you got your hand there. No, mind your business. Because if you don't get it, it's not for you to get. This ain't for you to get. So sit down or don't even look at us and keep doing what you're doing, and we will bless you where you are. But this right here, keep your hands off of. You gotta listen. We know what we're doing because God's hand is on it. God's hand is on it because we serve.
Yes.
We have come to serve. And over in Morocco, I can't wait. So as we close this out with my big mouth and doing all that talking, but at least I explained the anthology, the magazine, the retreats, and the coaching. They all go hand in hand. There are reinforcement, visibility, visibility, marketing, advertising. And we don't put a limit on you. In fact, we want you to be limitless.
Woo!
That's what we want to be unleashed, right? Unleashed. So, sis, close them out. What are your closing? We didn't even get to the clicks and how they bind you up and limit how the real divine appointments. We didn't even get to that. But sis, what are your closing thoughts?
We can come back to that another time. First, I want to say to our listeners and viewers out there, now you know why I partnered with Own It. Now you know why she's one of the partners. And here's the thing: some people, they want to be, and they're very successful, by themselves on their own. There's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
I am a flower child. I am an indigo child, and I thrive when, one, I am serving, two, I am ensuring that people grow. When I was in corporate, it was impossible for you to be on my team and not grow. Because my thing is, if you can't replace me immediately, if I fall off the face of the earth, my senior leader should be able to go amongst my direct reports and say, well, I don't know who to put because all five or all 10 or all 20 are
Yep.
qualified. And so
Yep.
when you have a passion and a love to see people succeed, to see people grow, you will step outside of your comfort zone and you will go and pull the resources in that give people what they need, regardless of whether you have it or not. And so I am very big on collaborations, on partnerships, and that we work together collectively, because here's the thing at the end of the day, there is enough for everybody. There is no
Oh,
shortage.
amen.
If people haven't noticed the results of COVID turning everything upside down, if they haven't noticed the needs that are out there, there is enough for everyone. So
Every,
I had no second thoughts about partnering with a clinical therapist, partnering with a business coach, partnering with someone that meets all those needs that came out in that focus group. And here's the key thing that people say: they don't want to have to go to 5 different people to get it. They want to have a place that they can go where when something doesn't go right, they got one throat to choke. So the one throat to choke, which I don't intend on anybody ever having to choke me, but the one throat to choke is moi. And there
right.
is partnerships that bring all of this together. And I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. I was definitely pushed out of my comfort zone because a magazine was the last thing on my agenda. But I'm going to share with you something that, because when we can see, let me stop for a second. When we can see someone else humble themselves and say, okay, what is this person trying to tell me? Then we can actually begin to grow higher to that limitless place. So here is what happened. I was a contributing writer, co-author, multiple anthologies. They all have been international bestsellers, including the last anthology with Own It, which was oh God, here I am now, and I'm having a brain freeze. But through those anthologies, on top of that, I was a contributing writer for like 3 or 4 different magazines. And when you're in the right circle, remember that word as we're closing out. When you're in the right circle, when you are not the smartest person in the room, when you're in the right room, someone will come and see something that maybe you're missing. And what that was my voice to be broader than just the programs that I had. For people to hear my voice on a regular monthly basis. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest. When Marisa first came to me and said, "You need your own magazine. You need to stop giving your voice to everybody else to publish, and you need to publish your voice yourself and be able to have your own magazine and give all of these jewels that you have. You need to be able to do that in your own magazine." Now, I'm gonna be honest, it didn't happen overnight. She had that conversation with me maybe in, I don't know, November or October of
So
last
you're
year.
coming up on a year.
We are almost coming up on a year since we had that conversation. But because I'm in tune to what my divine purpose is, because I've done the inner work, I could receive her saying to me, "You are cutting your voice short. You have so much in you." Which brings me to the next point. We expanded to the 1 year program. I found it impossible to give 3 months or 6 months. And I had folks telling me that are expert business people, you give too much. Well, guess what? I didn't know how to not give because I give all of
Right.
it. I didn't
Yep.
know how to say, well, I'm just going to give you this little bit and then you come back. And I give you another little bit and then you come back. So that's what drove the 1 year program along with everything else. So I just want to leave everyone with the thought of, think about what it is that you want and think about where it is you want to go. And then share that with us. And how you do that is you go to my website, revolutionascension.com, you book a free consultation. I send you a intake form, and we literally have a meeting for free to talk about exactly what it is that you want to do, where you want to go, and think about, is that really your destiny? And then from there you can make an informed decision if the 1 year program, the various retreats, and by the way, the 1 year program includes the anthology, the magazine, as well as the retreat. But if
Mhm.
you say, well, maybe I'm not ready for all of that, that's a discussion that we can have. But I guarantee you, you will get something out of the consultation. And on that, Marisa, I know we need to be out.
We need to be out, but it needed to be said. And so we are thankful for that. We're thankful for this conversation and all that you're doing. And she's going to be in Morocco in
Yes,
December 11th, right? The 11th
the 17th.
through the 17th. And so if you're interested, like we talked about, then when we started off these sessions, we talked about burnout. And burnout is because you don't have a strategy or a plan. And even when you have a strategy and a plan, doesn't mean that it's going to be an easy task. It doesn't mean that you're not going to have obstacles thrown in your direction all different ways. And Lulu and I can attest to that.
Yes.
We don't wear our issues on our sleeves. Like we're not posting about what we're going through. Why? Because we're overcoming what we're too busy overcoming. We're too busy navigating through what it is that we need to do. You don't need all of that unless we're in a session with you and we're teaching you in that session how you are to overcome. Everybody doesn't have to wear their stuff out here. Sometimes it's tacky and distasteful for some of that. And you don't need to do that. You already know what you're made of. You ain't got to show the world that. You show your clients, you show your people, you show them through pride. Some things are not meant to be out there in the world like that. And so you want to be in Morocco. You want to join. I'm going to be there and I'm going to be gleaning. I'm going to be a place where I'm going to be poured into. And I'm looking forward to that because I like being poured into. I like going to be pampered. I like people speaking to me. I like learning. As a fact, I don't like it. I love learning. I want to learn in everything that I do. I'm looking for what can I walk away with from this experience. And so be there with us in Morocco. Have a funky good time with us. Cut up. I don't know what she's going to show me in Morocco because this woman, this phenomenal woman, she knows a lot. And guess what? That's why I'm with her. So I can learn, honey. So I can learn today. We're out. We love you. We're out. Have a good night. Or
Uh,
good day. Or good morning.